Hi, everyone. This is Steve Delisant, and welcome to this week's edition of CU's You Should Know. I'm thrilled to be joined by Jen DiLandro, the CEO of Dolce Aesthetics. Jen, thanks for being here today.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much for having me here today.
We're excited to have you, and we're excited to dive in. So, to kick things off, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your background and what led you to Dolce Aesthetics?
Oh God,
I know, where to begin.
where to begin? Let's do like maybe a quick synopsis. I was married. I had began as a single mom. Got married. Was in nursing school. I started working in labor and delivery, and labor and delivery runs hand in hand with women's health and runs hand in hand with plastic surgeons. And one of my friends who was a plastic surgeon, through a GYN that I knew, was like, "Hey, Jen, how would you like to go to this Botox class for this company, Allergan?" I go, "Wow, I read all about it." This was in 2001. I'm like, "Sure, let's go." Went, loved it. This is great. And the rest was history. So started doing Botox. 2001, I was working for a plastic surgeon. I was probably one of the first nurses who did Botox in New York City.
That's awesome.
When I was an RN, yep. And then, was doing that for a few years, and then I worked as a nursing director, and then I always did Botox and fillers throughout that time frame. And I'm like, you know what? I'm close. I'm gonna try to open up my own shop here, and I
Good for
did.
you.
I took my 8 weeks that they owed me vacation, and I said, "I'll see you guys in the fall." I opened up shop, called them in the fall, and said, "Listen, I'm not coming back." and the rest was history. So I opened up my first place in 2009.
Congrats.
Yeah,
And look at you now. That's
look
awesome.
at me now. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the interim, but that's
of
a
course.
pretty.
And we'll dive into that. Don't worry. So you've been doing it for almost 25 years now, right?
Yeah, long time.
What has kept you passionate about it and excited about it for so long?
I guess because I'm good at it,
Yeah.
and it makes people happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes people happy. I used to think it was trivial, and I'm like, I'm not saving lives. I'm not, a neurosurgeon. I'm not a heart surgeon. But when somebody is just getting over cancer and they come to me and they're like, "Jen, you know what? You made me feel so much better about myself today." That's what it's all about.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you said you started off in 2009, right, with a small office, and now fast forward, you're operating with 5 large practices all throughout New York and New Jersey. What were those pivotal moments across that journey?
Oh my God. It's funny because I didn't know at that point in time it was going to be this big. We were taking a big chance, and it was like basically like Russian roulette. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, so I just dove all in, and I said, I just got to do this. I had to take the chance. I had a big trauma in my life. My husband at the time was arrested and went to prison. So it was me by myself taking care of my children. I had
Big
3 small
responsibility.
children.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what am I going to do? I was a nurse working on a floor, and it wasn't enough to cut the bills and pay for my mortgage. And I said, you know what? Let me try this and see what happens. And I did it. I just jumped in. So that was, I guess, the pivotal moment of me deciding to take a chance.
That's awesome. You took
Yeah.
a chance on yourself, and it paid off.
Mm-hmm. It was
And
good.
you recently earned your doctorate in nursing, DPN.
Yeah.
What motivated you to get that degree at this stage in your career?
I did it because I wanted to have the doctor title,
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah, a vanity project. That's
Okay.
what it was. Yes, there you go, vanity. So it's like, Hollywood stars do these like the last hurrahs in a movie, and it's like a vanity project, which really they pretty much suck, but they're going to do it anyway because it's a vanity product. But that's why I did it. I said I wanted to have the doctor title, and I did it. So here I am.
Dr. Jen.
It's really not going to do much for,
Yeah, but still, I appreciate the honesty.
It's true. It's not,
So obviously growing across multiple locations, how do you balance that clinical excellence across all 5 locations when you physically can't be in 5 places at once?
Oh my God. Well, I have nurses who work for me, and they're trained very well. Most people obviously want me when they come through the doors. They are asking
They
for me.
see you on Instagram. They see you on social.
Right. I want Jen. I
Yeah.
want Jen. I want Dr. Jen. So I have a good staff. I do try to allot my time, and I try to, make sure I'm in every day. I'm in a different practice, so
Sure.
which is pretty cool.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah.
You recently achieved expert level 5 injector across top multiple ranks and aesthetic brands. How do you always stay at the forefront of the industry, and what's next when it comes to innovation?
Well, I mean, I think for this industry, there's always something new that's coming out. So you got to kind of like just be leery of like different procedures, different things. You have to kind of pick and choose because there's always the next best thing. And always the next best thing isn't always the best thing.
Yeah.
So you just got to kind of, kind of navigate through that. I mean, when I started, it was like there was no classes. They were like, here, take the product and figure it out. So, now there's all these different training classes, and there's also a lot of people that are trying to do it that should not be doing it. That's another
That's the
problem.
scary part, right?
That is a very scary part. People don't realize how, it is very, very, it could be very dangerous. You have to know anatomy, obviously.
Mhm.
You have to know what you're doing. I make it look easy,
Yeah.
and people look at me like, yeah, I could do that. No,
Yep.
no, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It's very, you have to, I believe that there should be, especially in New York State, because it's become so overblown with injectors now.
Yep.
There should be a cap. You have to have at least 5 years clinical experience before they could even take an injectable course. And you have to, now it is RN level, but I think it should go up to MP level. That you have to be at least an MP, a PA, or a doctor to do it. So, because you need that clinical experience, you need that didactics.
Absolutely.
Because how do you come out of nursing school and just be like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to start injecting people in the face?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
100%. Speaking of that, what makes you guys different than the competition? Why should someone, if they want to get Botox or another procedure done, come to Dr. Jen versus the other guys that are out there?
Well, of course, because I'm the best.
Of course.
I think we're real. I think
Yeah.
when people see us like on our social media, they see me doing my silly skits, they see me doing fun stuff, and they come in, they're like, you're exactly how you are on your social media, and I'm so comfortable because I don't talk down to patients or
Yeah.
at patients, I talk to them,
Mhm.
and they appreciate that because I'm real. Some places you go in and they're snooty patootie, and they're
Totally.
like, and half the time you're like sitting there going, why am I in this place? Like
Yeah.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
Let me get out of here. So I guess it's personality, and I make people feel comfortable.
Absolutely. And I think it's also your guys' reputation and the experience, like you said.
Mhm.
And obviously, you guys know what you're doing, which is really important if someone's trusting their face and their appearance with you.
Thank you. I
course.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the mission of the company,
Oh,
right?
boy.
So the
The
mission,
mission.
is to make every person feel and look beautiful. And I think you said it earlier that that's one of the reasons you stayed within this. How do you take that mission and really scale it out to all your followers on Instagram and all the patients that walk through that door every single day?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I just go and I go patient by patient, and I say to the patient, what is your vision? What do you want to feel better about? It is subjective. I can't tell somebody what's going to make them feel better. I can't tell you.
Absolutely.
I can't tell you. You have to be able to tell me and verbalize what you want to accomplish. So I could provide it to you, but you have to tell me what's going to matter to you in the grand scheme of things, and in if you're whatever treatment that you want to do.
Love that.
Yeah.
What's your long-term vision for Dolce Aesthetics?
Oh, to be in every big city.
I love that.
I don't want to be a chain.
Yeah.
Obviously, I can't splice myself to be in every place because I am the business, so it's kind of hard. I guess, I wanna be. I'm actually opening up a place in Red Bank, Jersey now, so I'm
Oh, great
excited that I'm going to
location.
Jersey. I have my Jersey girls coming to me.
Love that.
But yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, expand to maybe up to maybe like 8 or 9 places. I
Okay.
will see what we could do, and see how it goes from there. And eventually, pass it off to my daughter. She's also a nurse, and she's went back to school to be a nurse anesthetist.
Ah.
So we'll see if she'll take
That's
over
awesome.
one day.
Take over the legacy.
We hope so. I
Yeah.
hope so. I hope I didn't build this and I have to sell it off. It would be really, it would be really sad. To that.
Well, I
for
hope
that
you
to
don't.
happen.
So if your daughter's listening, make sure you continue it going. I know that in your personal end game, right? I think production's something of interest down the line, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, so I am, I currently am involved in some production
Projects?
production project,
Yeah.
products. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
thinking
all
about
good.
Botox and filler in my brain all the time. So yeah, I've always been interested in production and the inner workings of like, obviously behind the scenes of, you know, uh, movies and TV shows and things
Yeah,
like that. So now I'm like involved with it now. I'm working with a couple of other production companies, and I'm getting some experience behind the scene.
that's very cool.
I can't I can't release the shows that I'm working with
I was gonna
now.
ask, anything
I
you could
can't.
tease on the entertainment side?
Well, one of them is probably going to be on Netflix. So
Very
that'll be
cool.
pretty cool. Another one I can talk about. It's called Great Kills, and it's set in Staten Island, and it's about a hitman who's like the Fredo of the hitman world. So
Okay.
it's always something's. It's like a dark comedy, but it's set as a reality show. Something's always happening to this guy, and nothing ever goes his way. He becomes friends with the hits. His trigger finger
So you can't do
breaks.
it.
Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
everything. He's like Forrest. He's like the Forrest Gump of the hitman world, which is really funny. And then so I'm involved in that project. And then there's another one that is we're actually writing the script now, and it's about a true life crime that happened in 1980. So it's called the Pizza Connection. So we're kind of like
Nice.
now going through all like the documentation, getting some of the people who were involved in the actual crime that are going to be involved in it because
My
there's
gosh, that's awesome.
so yeah. Well,
When do
everybody
you,
loves
when
mafia movies.
when
What
do
can
you
I say?
sleep? Jeez, you're busy all the time.
My mind is always working. I'm like a shark. If I don't stop moving, I'm gonna die. So I
So
gotta keep.
obviously, being that single mom to being the CEO and running a successful business for the last 25 years and having those 5 locations and being able to expand, I'd love for you to give, for those that are tuning in that want to start their own business or want to be an entrepreneur, some advice you wish you gave yourself 25 years ago.
Start when you're younger. Don't start if you can. Start as young as you can. But you just keep grinding. You got to get out there every day and do the work. If you don't, it's not going to happen for you. Nothing's going to come to you. You have to make it happen.
Were there any moments or setbacks or moments of self doubt across those 25 years that you look back on and it was a moment that you learned from?
I learned not to marry the wrong person. That's definitely what. Definitely pick your partner, right, because it's very important if if you are in a relationship with somebody, you want them to be able to stand behind you and be able to lift you up and not drag you down. It's so important to have a man, a woman, whatever is involved in your life. It's somebody that's gonna, let you be you and help you succeed. Because if there's somebody there that's not helping you, it's gonna drag you down.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, I'm sure your team is extremely important to the success of the company, right? We talked about
Yes.
earlier, you can't be in all 5 spots at once, but obviously you want to maintain that fun, that collaborative atmosphere across the team. How do you do that as CEO by managing your full team?
Well, I mean, I do have people that work for me. A lot of people can't navigate this, but I have friends and family that work for me, and it's very hard to work
Yeah,
with friends and family. So, and you have to weed out the ones that can and cannot. So I think that helps because they treasure my business as I treasure it, and they treat it like it's theirs. So they respect it. So that's important. And I think that obviously if you have people that have the same goals as you that want, to succeed. And I think today it's really hard because the work ethic is not what it used to be. I
I
can tell you
completely
that much.
agree.
How old are you? You can't be that old.
I've been working in radio for 17 years.
But how could I
I
ask how
managed
old
the
you
entire.
are?
You could ask me how old I am.
How
I'm,
old?
I'm 38 years old.
Well, you know what? You are a very mature 38
Thank you.
because I could tell you that it's like at least a decade behind in this day and age. I was married with children and had a career at 27 years old.
Yeah.
Today it's just these. I have people come in, they're like, yeah, I'm a snowbird and I go to Florida for half the year, so I can only work for you for 6 months. I'm like, Snowbird.
Yeah.
Snowbird. I go, I'm 55 and I'm not a snowbird. I go, how does that work? Yeah, how old are you? 25. Really, a snowbird? I'm like, all right, next, see you later. But
Jeez.
these are the things
Yeah, no,
that you get.
it's very hard to find people with the same like work ethic and same mindset nowadays.
It's true. It's hard. So everybody thinks they want to be. It's either they want to be Instagram famous and they
Yep.
think they're going to be famous, or they think they're going to find somebody that's going to take care of them, one or the other, or their parents are going to take care of them for the rest of their life.
We have that at iHeart too. Trust me, I interview people and I say, "Why do you want to work at iHeart?" And they're like, "Well, I have 10,000 followers on TikTok." I'm like, "Well, that's not really what we do here, but thank you." So I hear you, Jen.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, but
But that's awesome that you've been able to build such a strong team that you trust and obviously that you're able to depend on.
Yeah, thank God. And
Yeah.
my daughter, my oldest, is I call her my colonel. So she carries out the details. So she's good. Thank God I have her. She's really good, and she watches out for me. She watches out for the business. So, I guess family legacy. It's good to keep it in the family,
Absolutely.
right?
One last thing before we sign off. If anyone wants to learn more information about you, more information about Dolce Aesthetics, what's the first thing they should do?
Well, definitely go to my social media. Go to IG. So it's Dolce Aesthetics New York on TikTok. And if they would like to go to my website, it's dolceaestheticsny.com. So you could see all our services and locations. But if you really want to see my personality and see me, you got to follow my Instagram and TikTok page.
Absolutely. What's the handle on Instagram again?
Dolce Aesthetics NY.
Perfect.
Yep, both of them.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, telling us more about Dolce Aesthetics. And I'm excited to see what's next.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Finally, I got here. Thank you so much for having me.
It was an absolute pleasure. And thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next week for next week's edition of CEOs You Should Know.